Thank you very much for watching another video in the User Experience Insight series. The first thing I need to say to you all is sorry for the bad audio quality in the first video in this series. I'm not sure what went wrong, maybe something with the encoding or decoding, but the quality was not really sounding like me, so very sorry for that one. In this video, we're going to dive in the dashboard. And more or less, we're going to take a step further where we have been ending last time. Just as a quick recap, in the last video, we connected the sensor to the dashboard and then made the initial setup. So in this video, we're going to explore the dashboard, and then in further videos continuing in this series, we're going to dive in how you can start using the sensor and the information you are receiving to troubleshoot and to make your network better. And of course, we're going to dive in to how we can configure and customize tests. So now let's first dive into the dashboard. As you can see here, you can see the 5 green circles that more or less give you an overview immediately how your infrastructure is performing. But let's start with the circle and the smiley happy face called experience. As you can see, we have the Queen 4772. That is the sensor we have been connecting in the last video. If you have multiple sensors, you will see multiple sensors under that experience. And if it is more than an X amount, they will start to roll. But the happy face gives you an overview in how your users are perceiving the services you are testing. If we hover over, you can see the experience and the status of the last 24 hours. You can also see the alerts. If we click on it, you will immediately get to the experience alert summary. But that's for later videos. Let's click in. So even the same as if you go over the sensor, you can see here, you can mute the alerts of this particular sensor, but that's not what we want. But you can see also the status for the last 24 hours, and you can see the latest value it has been collecting on SSID, RISE test with RSSI, RX, TX data, etc. The same as if you hover over the other circles here. Internal we did not yet configure, but internal you can configure, for example, services that are running in your own data center. Maybe you still have an on-premise mail server or applications that are running in your own data center, which you can configure there. But that later in other videos. External, you can hover over here. Okay, I think that is really clear. So now let's dive into this one, is the map view. Let's say you have a lot of sensors. Then you can hover over here, sensor by status. So if you do that, you can immediately see which sensors are perceiving a bad experience, for example, or having values that are not performing, or maybe they all perform. Sensor by group. We didn't have groups configured. We're going to do that in this video, but as you can see now, no group set. And then we have a map view. And in the map view, we can zoom in and out. If we have multiple branches, we can see where the sensors are being placed. Okay, let's move back to the normal dashboard here. And before we dive into the settings and some of the other options and features we have, I want to quickly show you here, if you press this button, and this is everything around help. You can see it's welcoming me, hi Tobias, ask us anything and share feedback. The first thing, of course, you want to do is you can verify here, hey, are all the systems operational? Is everything performance as it should be from an Aruba perspective? Then if you want to know something, configure external, for example, external services, you can press enter. And it will search for you for articles, and then you can press that article and follow the steps or the explanation that you need to do. If you can't find your answer and you still want to know how you can do something, you can immediately get support inside the application, inside this dashboard. You click on new conversation, and in new conversation, they will then immediately assign in a support engineer to you, and you can start to have a real life conversation. Let's close this off. Now let's dive here. You can see here is that you can turn off notifications on everything. Here you have the search. So let's say you have all sensors deployed in your infrastructure and you want to search on some services. Then you can search here immediately and you can see it filtered out for you. Or maybe I want to search on multiple SSIDs. Then if you can click on that SSID, you get to the status of this particular item that I pressed. Okay, let's move back. Now let's select the wheel, and the wheel stands for settings. So let's dive into this. You can see here the sensor that we have been adding. If you want to look at the settings, we can press it here. You can see the sensor name. You can change the name if you want to a more convenient name that maybe will fit like your naming convention. You can add it to a group if you have a group available, but we don't have it yet. You can see the SSID that we have been connecting to as part of the initial configuration. But let's click on configure. Let me explain you a couple of settings here. You can see here that the B SSID selection has two different options. One is auto and one is lock. By default, it is acting like a client, and a client is always making some selection or some probability on the most stable BSSID, and that's where it will connecting to. And not every client does it the same way, but what we try to do here is be as close as possible as a client. So you place these sensors also in the environment on the same height and the same planes of multiple clients. So if you do that, you also want to act like a client. But let's say you want to perform an underperformance access point and you want to dive into more of that, so you want to lock the sensor to a certain SSID. That's where you can start using lock. Then you can select your BSSID, and then maybe you want to do that for the next hour indefinitely or an X amount of time. That's what you can do here. But by default, we leave it on auto. You can also configure the IP address. Standard and default will be DHCP, but you can also change it to static if you want to and fill in the necessary items. But I'm going to leave it to DHCP. Let's also have a look at the advanced tab. As you can see here, that Ethernet testing is disabled in my sensor. But what you can do if you enable Ethernet testing, then the test you can also run tests over your wired and over your wireless infrastructure. So this way you got a good feeling how if there is a difference between the experience of the users over wired as over wireless. Wi-Fi Explorer is also very interesting. With Wi-Fi Explorer, you can start using the sensors as a Wi-Fi Explorer Pro remote sensor. So if you enable this, what will happen is that the sensor will start to listen on port 25999 for connections of Explorer Pro. And then it will start to use as a sensor. So if you enable that, you can do that for an X amount of time. But let's disable it. With PCAP, you have three options: disabled, PCAP Lite, and PCAP Full. Default, it is on PCAP Lite. And PCAP Lite, what will happen is if there is a discovery of an issue, on the first discovery it will upload the PCAP. Full means it will upload the PCAP on the initial discovery and confirmation of the issue. So it will be a bigger PCAP file. Then you can do some address and some notes. So let me cancel this one, and let's go into group management. Group management, as you can see, we didn't have a group configured. So if we now go for some tests, for example, let's go to testing, you can see enable test below apply to one sensor and one SSID. So let's go back to the sensor and create a group to this. Let's call the group ABCN. The alias needs to be 3 letters, or can be maximum of 3 letters. Let's add the group. Now I come into the group section. You can see I have one sensor and I can add it to this group. Now the sensors from here to the group. Let me save this. You can do manage. Again, you come in the same section, or you can change some names. But now let's go back and you can see it has been added to the ABCN. So how will that reflect that to the dashboard? You can also see now the group name, alias name, for the sensor. But let's move back to the settings. Now if I go to the tests, here you can see change selection. So now all of a sudden you can start using groups to start enabling tests. But that more in a couple of seconds. First, let's go to Wi-Fi. You can see Wi-Fi here is you have, this is the Wi-Fi we have been configuring during the enablement of the sensor. Alias You can do hidden, you can do open passphrase or enterprise. If you do enterprise, you can start to work with certificates and different e-types, face authentication types, etc. You can even go to advanced if you want to say, for example, external connectivity. By default that's on, but you can turn it off. Meaning that let's say you have a very specific environment where you want to turn external connectivity off. Then all the external tests that are configured will not be done there. It will only do the internal testing, and then it will start using the LTE connection to upload the test parameters. Band locking, you can do auto, 2.4 and 5 gigahertz, and you can also add proxies if needed. Okay, let's close this one off. Let me cancel this one. If you want to add, you can add different SSIDs in here, and up to a maximum of 3 SSID tests can be done by one single sensor, but I would be careful for this. I would be very careful because every test also takes time. So if you do every test on every SSID, you need to figure out how much time do you use testing on specific SSID. So discard this. I think this is clear now. Let's move to testing. Testing, as you can see, we can now enable tests on a group. So then if you keep on adding sensors to a group, it's very convenient because then you don't need to select all the tests on the specific sensors. As you can see here, we are testing this specific SSID. And here are the external tests that we are testing. And from a core configuration, you can see that we have enabled the packet capture. We scan every 5 minutes an AP scan, SSID check, Wi-Fi association, etc. That's been done by default. So going back to test configuration, I can add a test here. And I can add an internal test and an external test. So let's go over to an external test. I can select predefined of customs. And if I open this up, you can see that all the tests are in there. I'm not going to, in this video, into all the details. We will do that in another video. So let's discard it here. If you want to put testing on and off, you can do that here. If you want to edit it, you can do that with the pencil icon. Here you can put it to a group or not. Deselect it from the group, or what you want to do. You can put that all the configuration there. So let's move to thresholds. Thresholds, initially when you open it up, you have all, but you can also look at the availability, warning. So if there's 5 minutes SSID, for 5 minutes SSID is missing, it's a warning. For 10 minutes it's an error. You can enable or disable it, and you can add it to numbers if you want to for your own infrastructure. Network thresholds, same thing, DNS, DHCP, internal, service unavailability, high latency, high packet loss. Same for the external thresholds. Alerts, you can mute alerts. You can add a mute by adding the plus sign, then the type, for example, network, and then you can add a mute. Let's say you have a branch that you are going to configure, or you have parts of your network where you will do some maintenance. You can add some muting there. You can do reports. With reports, you can send an email. You can subscribe to alerts, as you see here, and you can add email addresses in here. Users, you have a user Tobias van Inge here, that's administrator. You can add users, and you have a role of administrator and a read-only role. You can even do that based on the group access, restricted or unrestricted, and you can select a group, as you can see here. So you can give somebody access to all the groups that are part of your dashboard, or you can give somebody access to a particular group that you have configured. My account information you can see here. So let's move back to the dashboard here, and I think we had a good overview of how the dashboard is working together. There's one thing that I want to show you now, because we configured the group, is we go back to this one, not the map view, but the sensor by group. So now you can see that instead of having no group set, we have the group ABCN here, which we have been configured and added our sensor to. This concludes my dashboard video. I hope you like it. In the next video, we're going to have a little bit more dive into different tests and see how we can start configuring tests and get data out of them. Thank you very much. If you have any question or comments, leave them in the comment field. If you want us creating more videos, please do a thumbs up. Thank you very much and hope to see you next time.